Welcome to Baking Besties. I'm Tina, and this is my BFFL.
Aaliyah.
And today we are cooking from the book
Baking all year round.
And our first recipe that we're going to try is Bunny Bum Cake Balls. Alright, so we printed out the recipe so that way we won't make a mess on the book. I don't know how to bake. Aaliyah doesn't know how to bake.
I do.
But we're going to figure it out. That's what the whole purpose of the recipe are. Alright, so we already prepped all the ingredients to make it go faster. It'd be kind of boring to watch us measure and pour.
Yeah, it's very boring.
So we have
Flour, sugar, butter, cornstarch,
Yep.
water, some fresh strawberries,
Some more sugar. We have salt, baking powder, marshmallows, milk, and egg whites. And we also will be using sprinkles.
and vanilla extract.
And we have candy melts.
And we have white and pink candy melts.
All right. So the first step in the recipe is preheat the oven to 350 degrees.
And we already did that.
Already done. Grease an 8x8 inch metal baking pan and line the bottom with parchment paper.
Already done.
Yep. So now we're going to move on to step 2. What's step 2?
Step 2 is, in a small saucepan, combine the strawberries, the 1 tablespoon of sugar, and the 1 tablespoon of water, and bring a boil, stirring occasionally.
Good job. So we have the saucepan.
And we have
Next,
the
the strawberries.
strawberries.
All right,
So
so
we got the
dump the
strawberries
strawberries.
and dump them in. They're all going for a dip in the pool.
All right. And then next we have the 1 tablespoon of sugar.
Dump it in. This also going for a dip in the pool.
And 1 tablespoon of water. So we have our tablespoon, measuring spoon,
Right here.
and we're going to
To scoop up some water.
Yep.
And then the water is going to be the water in the pool. And now we're going to put this. Now we're going to let this boil.
put this on the stove.
And we got our whiskey whisk.
Okay. And we're just going to stir. We don't need the whisk for this one. So come on, let's stir. And be careful. Get in there a little bit.
Teamwork makes the dream work. So I got my baking bestie Tina helping me out with this.
Okay, so it says stir occasionally, bring to a boil. So I'm gonna keep stirring a little bit. I'm not sure how 1 tablespoon of water is gonna boil, but that's what the recipe says, so that's what we're gonna do.
Just listen to the recipe.
The next step.
The next step is, in a small bowl, whisk the cornstarch and the 1.5 teaspoons of water.
All right, so
And
we're going
add
to use
that to the saucepan.
Okay, so first we're going to get the cornstarch.
And we gotta stir it.
Which one is the cornstarch? This one.
And we have to stir it until it's thickened for 2 to 3 minutes. Then we gotta remove from the heat and let it cool.
All right, let's try to get all this cornstarch out of there.
And that's going for a dip in the pool. We'll edit out that screech.
Okay, and what else do we need? 1.5 teaspoons of water. So we're gonna do 1. Okay. Now we're going to need you to whisk them together.
Woo!
And I'll check on the strawberries.
This is kind of looking like milk. It's looking like milk a bit over here.
These strawberries sure are cooking. Never had cooked strawberries before.
Neither have I. This is sticky.
Okay, let me move that off the fire.
It's getting sticky and that's
Let's see.
a bit sticky.
Yeah.
And that's how we like it, nice and sticky. That's how you know that the process is going good. So far, this process is going very nicely.
Okay. So we're going to add this to the
Mixture. It kind of looks like milk. It looks like milk, but
So
it's
now we're
not.
adding the cornstarch and water mixture to the pan.
And then we're gonna put that back on the
Let's try and get as much of this out as we can.
Then we're gonna put it. Then we're gonna put that. Then we're gonna put the mixture back on the stove, and we're gonna stir until it's thickened, and then we're just
Okay.
gonna remove it from the heat and then let it cool down.
Alright, so now adding that all in. There you go. Be careful.
It's gonna be our first time trying cooked strawberries today.
Okay, so it says about 2 to 3 minutes. It should thicken up.
So just keep stirring for 3 to 2, from 2 to 3.
It looks like almost like a strawberry milk. Strawberry milky texture.
It's like the strawberries with the cornstarch and 1.5 cup of water is making the juice from the strawberries.
Yeah, it hasn't really thickened yet.
It's like making the consistency of it look like the texture is looking like strawberry milk. And strawberry milk is good, so that might be a sign that the thing.
Okay, I think it's starting to be a little thick. It's not as liquidy
Let me see.
as it previously was.
Yeah, it's starting to thicken up a bit. It's getting a little harder to spin to mix it up.
The strawberries are beginning to look a little mushy. Yeah.
Melted. They're looking like Olaf. They're looking like an Olaf in the summer. They go that melting, we're melting, then so you can't see them anymore.
Okay, so I think that's good. So we'll take this off the fire and let it cool.
And we're gonna move on to our next step.
Okay, we'll turn the stove off.
And for this one, we need a medium bowl, and we gotta whisk the flour and the baking powder and salt.
All right, so we have the flour. Got it?
In the pool.
All right.
Let me brush the extras off my fingers.
And what else do we need with the flour? Baking powder.
Powder right here. In the pool. So,
Make sure to get all that in
so
there.
this is like our dry ingredients. And our salt.
Yep.
In the pool.
All right. And we need to whisk that together. So let's rinse this off. We don't want to mix in the
The wet
cornstarch because it's powdery. Yeah, be careful. Not so hard.
The dry ingredients are going inside the whisk.
Good job.
Not too fast, not too slow.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have a bit of fun with this by just going opposite direction.
There you go.
This is how to have fun when cooking.
Fun
Cooking.
cooking.
Just take this and go like this. One, and then whoop, whoop, whoop. And then just gotta make sure you mix this up real good. But always be careful, cause this is like very powdery.
All right, I think that's good.
We got that good whisking. We have our good whisks. The good whisk.
All right, so now it's time for the mixer. In a large bowl, electric mixer, we're gonna beat the butter, 3/4 cup of sugar until light and fluffy, about 3 to 5 minutes.
Got our large bowl.
We not gonna use it. We're gonna use the bowl that comes with the mixer.
This is.
I'm with it. This is a
Just
bit
kidding.
heavy.
I'm just kidding. That's our large bowl in there. This is our large bowl right here. It's nice. Butter and sugar. You need the butter and sugar. So the sugar. Now let's move over to this side. To this. You have to move over to this side because this is where our mixer is. So what we need is the butter and the sugar. And we have to beat it until it's fluffy.
Alright, so go ahead. Let's put it in there. Go ahead, put the sugar in first. I need the 3/4 cups of sugar. There you go. Alright. And we're going to put this butter in here.
Butter.
Okay, so now we're just going to put this on because we don't want to make a mess.
Like
Alright,
some.
watch your fingers.
Like because then you gotta put this in. And
Okay.
you should set it to like about 4. So you should set it to like 2. And it says to let it beat for
About 3 to 5 minutes until light and fluffy.
Yep.
So it already broke down all the butter. Now it's just mixing them together.
Mixing up the butter to get that nice and fluffy consistency that we want.
Yep.
It's looking kind of fluffy right now. Like right now it's kind of looking like a cotton ball or a marshmallow.
Smell good. Smell it. Tell me what it smells like. It smells like buttery popcorn. Makes you want to watch a movie.
That's some good popcorn.
Speaking of movies, you went to go see Captain Marvel the other day. How was it?
It was good.
It was good? Did you really like it?
Yeah,
I saw it too. I think it was an awesome movie. I can't wait for the Avengers to come out.
Parts I did like.
What part?
Other than that, the movie was great.
Okay. Cool to see a female superhero, right?
Yeah,
Kick butt.
Because most of it is usually guys. Who
Mm-hmm.
does look at superheroes? Obviously, the creator of Captain Marvel. This popcorn smells good. It looks like popcorn. It's looking kind of fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like some fluffy popcorn. Mixing up fast, like the speed of light.
Alright, so now,
We gotta add in our egg white.
yeah, so everything we do from this point looks like we're going to be adding them to the mixer. Let the mixer do all the work. Okay. First we need to add
And you can
in
watch the baking magic at work.
add in the egg whites to the butter mixture. Not all at once. So we're going to put this on a low speed.
Yep, like 2. Don't want to make a mess. Now it looks like mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes. See?
Mm-hmm.
Or it looks like applesauce. It looks like mashed potatoes or applesauce. Now it's starting to look like thick batter. Our batter's looking pretty good.
Okay, so now we're going to add in the rest of the egg whites.
Woo! And we can
Put on the next one.
I pull my lips out.
This is starting to look better.
Okay, next up is the mixing the vanilla.
We got our vanilla extract.
So we need a half a teaspoon.
So we got a teaspoon cup right there. And we need one full one, put it in the bowl. And we need 1/2, put it in the bowl. Sorry, we're having technical difficulties. This vanilla extract is not going to work. Ooh, ah!
It's okay, you won't pour it all in there.
It's still good. It's really starting to look like batter now. This batter.
Mix on up.
This batter's
Smells
looking
good. I know, I want to eat it.
Well, just about halfway through now.
Okay, so we'll slow it down.
Just a bit.
Put it on stir. And then we need to add in the cool strawberry mixture. And it hasn't really cooled. It's still a little warm.
So we'll just let this mix for a little bit longer. We'll let that cool for like
Watch,
that.
be careful, it's hot. Watch your fingers.
Okay, so we'll stop that real quick. And then let's pour in our strawberry mixture. Ooh, that batter looks good.
All right.
I wonder what if our batter turns pink because of the strawberries? What if
Probably will.
we're gonna have pink cake? You can see that smoke. I don't know if you can see it because of how the camera is, but we see smoke. But it's smoking. Oh, it's melting. It's all off. It's all off, but as a strawberry. Move those strawberries up.
All right.
And now we gotta get out the rest.
I'm gonna get all this strawberry sauce.
And
Watch your face.
And then in the bowl, the strawberry boil sauce. The strawberry sauce. This is gonna be our first time trying cooked strawberries. Hopefully they taste good.
All right, so now we're gonna put this back down.
And we could set it to like
Cover it.
cover it, and then set it to like 4.
Now put it on 2. We'll start off slow.
It's turning pink. It looks like chocolate milk. It looks like strawberry milk. We
All
gonna
right,
have
turn it
pink
up a
cake.
bit. All right.
Oh, this is so good. Looks so good. Well, this is not my first time baking, but I haven't baked in a long time, so we're both hoping that this tastes good. So the first time baking is like I'd say about my 3rd time baking. Either my 3rd or 2nd time baking, so we're both hoping that this comes out really good.
Okay. So now we need to. I'll start adding the milk in.
And we got a milk. And careful.
We have to add in the milk and the flour together, one at a time, alternating. Okay. It says begin and end with the flour mixture. So we put some flour in, then the milk, flour, milk. All right. So you be in charge of the milk, and I'll work the flour. Okay. Take this off.
Real quick. Because if we had this on 10 right now, we would have had a mess. We would have been covered in batter. A bit of flour, and then a bit of milk.
Go ahead, add just a little bit of milk. All right, there go the last of the flour.
Now, put over here. We have a flour mess over here, and then we have a milk mess. A milk mess over here. But it's okay.
Alright.
Mix it up. Speed up like me.
How's it coming along so far?
It looks okay. I mean, I guess that's what it's supposed to look like. I don't know. Looks good. Smells good.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks good and smells good. That's all. That's all we need is for it to look
So the
good.
next step is
Mix in vanilla.
nope, we did that.
Oh yeah, I
All
forgot.
right, so now we're gonna pour the batter into the prepared pan and bake until a wooden pick inserted into the center comes out clean. Okay. So we're gonna pour it in here.
Oh, that's to make sure that the thing is cooked enough. Because if it's cooked enough, it'll come out dry. If it's not cooked enough, the batter will stick. We ready with the batter. We ready with the batter. So as you can see, the batter looks as my favorite color and somebody else's favorite color. It looks like two people's. It looks like this batter is my favorite color.
All right, so right now we're gonna go ahead and pour this.
Ooh, it's a little leaky, but it's okay. I think so. It should be okay.
Clean this off. Get all the extra strawberries off of there.
There's a little hanging out from the bottom. I'm excited to try this because I've never had a strawberry cake before.
All right, scrape that out the bowl for me, please. Let's try to get as much of it in there as we can. Careful.
We can tell that the sugar was sticking right to the bottom.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Get just that bit. As you can see.
All right, now it looks like it's ready to go into the oven.
So
All right, now I'm going to do this because it's very hot.
and when you're baking, always remember to have an adult supervision, because we don't want anybody to get hurt or burnt.
All right, so now it's in the oven, and we have to wait about 25 to 30 minutes. I say about when it's 25 minutes, we'll check it to see how the stick is holding up. All right, go ahead.
So we have the cake baking in the oven. It has exactly 7 minutes left. So while we're waiting for our 7 minutes to go by, we are going to start working on our feet.
Now, Aaliyah's mommy was so kind to trace out the template for us for the bunny feet.
AKA camera person.
And now we're going to use this template here to make the feet. So we're going to place this on the baking pan and cover it with the wax tape. Alright. We have to melt the candy in the microwave. It says you can put it on defrost for about 1 minute.
Pour candy to be melted.
It says microwave safe container. We're going to guess that this is a microwave safe container, that it won't melt with the candy. It heats up everything else.
I'm so bad.
Okay.
I can't wait to try the
So we're going to put this in.
cake.
And we're actually going to put on the cover because we really don't want to make a mess because no one wants to clean that up. So we're going to put that on top just to be safe.
A camera woman smiling.
And we're going to put it on defrost 1 minute. And after a couple trial and errors of trying to melt the candy, because it took a little bit longer than we thought it would.
Because we didn't see the part where we had to mix it.
Yeah.
So we had a little
melted.
We worked
And
it
now
out.
it's ready to be put in the bag to use to
To
make the feet.
the
Okay.
little feet.
So, looks like the candy kind of hardened real fast. So it didn't harden. It's just a little thick. Okay. I thought it hardened.
Because it's melted some.
Okay. So now we need to put it in the bag.
And we have to make sure that we look at the max. The max of candy.
Okay. So that looks good enough. So we'll start with that right there.
That looks good.
So now we're going to use this here. I'm going to let Aaliyah make the feet. Hold it here. Keep it closed. And what you're basically going to do is just trace the outlines that Mommy had kindly traced for you. Use both hands. You want to use both hands so that you can guide it.
Okay. And you hold the sheet down.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Oh well, not everything's perfect. I tried.
It's okay. Come on, do the next one. Okay, you don't want to make it too thick. Now this takes patience. It's very hard to trace these lines using the decorating bags with the tips on there.
Not like a marker.
All right, so it took us a long time, but we finally completed doing the template for all the bunny feet. Now we have to let this sit for about 10 minutes so that it can harden. Once it hardens, then we flip it over and we will decorate the back side of the feet. I guess so you won't see all the lines and stuff like that when we do the feet.
And I think that was
And to do the decorating, we will need.
this big candy.
So we'll have to do candy melting again. But we should be better this time because last time we kind of screwed it up, but we got it together. So yeah, pretty much. So this time is going to be a bit easier. So looks like the cake is almost done. Once the cake is finished, we gotta let it sit and cool down
until we break it up again and put it back in the mixer.
Yeah, so we're gonna have time, so we have to let that cool off. All right, so now the cake is finally finished. It took a long time. It took more than 25 to 30 minutes for it to bake. It took about like 45 minutes for the cake to bake.
No, not about. It took 45 minutes.
It took 45 minutes for the cake to bake. So now we took it out, and now we're gonna let it sit. It has to cool down before we can make the balls
and make the little cake balls.
So while that's cooling off, we have finished the feet. They have cooled and hardened. Now we can add the toes.
The dot.
So we finished melting the pink the pink candy, which we talked about earlier. So now, Aaliyah, here you go. She's going to draw the toes on the feet. So when each, so you just need to do 2 circles on each foot.
So like circle, or circle.
Just like that.
Circle.
No, just so it will look like this. Okay, it's 3 toes. So we will need 3 toes, and then the heel, the bottom of the foot.
We got to turn this around.
Okay. Hold it if you need to.
It's falling off.
It's okay.
And then we kind of dot right there. Then a dot right there.
Okay, so right now she's carefully placing the dots on the candy. It's kind of hard to do. The candy is very small, but she's doing a good job.
A dot right there. And then a dot right here. Then a dot right here.
All right, now I'm going to finish these up. While we still wait for the cake to cool, probably about another 10 minutes. We take the cake out of the pan,
can break it up.
onto the wire rack, and then once it's completely cool, then we can go ahead
can-
and try to break it up.
Hi.
We are almost done. The cake is finally finished.
Woo.
We finally finished making the feet for the
Little
bunny balls.
feet.
All right, they're all done. Now we have to take the cake and put it into the mixer.
The big mixer over here.
All right, so we're gonna break this up.
This baby right here.
All right, so I'm gonna take some pieces, Leah, and start putting it inside. Come on, help me break it apart.
It's okay to make a mess. Now what should I say?
All right, so we're gonna put that in there. And we're gonna, now the mixer is gonna mix this up into a dough, which we can use to make them into balls.
Shaping the little balls.
Let me crank this up a little bit. Okay, so now it's time to cut this off. And now we have our dough.
Our dough, aka mushed up cake.
And this is what it looks like. Nice and mixed up.
Doughy. Nice and doughy.
Okay. Now we already have our sheet
Don't mind the pink
with the
mess
paper already lined on there.
to start
What
shaping.
we're going to do is we have to make these into balls. Let me get the rest of this off of here.
So we're going to be using a teaspoon and so we're going to be using this teaspoon measuring cup, and we're going to use that full once, and then we're going to use it twice. I'm here too. So
All right, so we're going to use a scoop.
and then we're going to
Say a scoop and a half, so we'll just pretty much just overfill the scoop. We'll say about, that looks about a scoop and a half, right? Okay, so we'll use that.
Just do like a full scoop and then
we'll
just
take
do it
this.
in half and then just add another half.
And it says to roll it into a ball.
So it looks like a ball, a little bunny bum ball.
All right.
My hand's kind of pink.
It's kind of sticky, real messy, but that's the fun in
That's
baking.
the chemistry of baking. To be
All right,
messy
so
and
there's
to have
one.
fun.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. A scoop and a half. Get in there. You gotta use your fingers. You scared to get dirty?
No.
All right, now put it in your hand and roll it up into a ball.
It's just like slime.
Okay, go ahead.
So weird. Take you. Okay. I could use a bit more.
And once we finish making these into balls, we got to put them in the refrigerator for an hour. All right, so we're at the end. The cake balls are out of the fridge. They're nice and cool.
In our rabbit feet look like bear claws, but it's okay.
So now we're going to take the cake balls and we're going to dip them into the
With
melted
this.
candy melts. We got to make it fast. We don't want this to get hard.
Like it did last time.
So Aaliyah's going to be in charge of dipping the cake balls
In the
and covering them up with the candy, and then I will be in charge of attaching the feet to the cake balls.
ball.
All right. So gonna do it like this. So go ahead, start dipping. Let's go.
Just give her back a spoon.
Yeah. Come on, you gotta move fast though.
First, pick it up, because then you're going to
Yeah, you gotta pick it up. Gotta get your hands dirty. Alright, then put it back on the tray.
pick up another
Come
one.
on,
Go
pick
ahead.
up another one.
Oh, wow.
It's okay.
Now we have these. It feels like I have glue on my hand right now.
It's okay. Maybe I should help you out.
Yeah.
How about I start putting them in there?
Then I just go over them. It doesn't matter where you put them. My hands are so sticky right now.
Go ahead, keep going.
Pop it down. So,
Alright, so we got most of the candy melts onto the cake balls. It was very hard because the candy melts they harden very fast.
and
So it kind of made it hard to get all the balls covered up. So I went ahead and tried to remelt it because I need to use the candy melt to add on the feet. So while I'm trying to add the feet to the cake balls, Aaliyah is going to
take these marshmallows that I ripped up and roll them into balls, and I'm gonna roll them around in these little sprinkles.
and that's going to be the tails. Are you ready? Let's get this started.
I already kind of started. Marshmallow. Yeah, I don't think this is working. This is not working, Tina. I think I need candy. I think you need candy melts to make it stick.
Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty strange. Okay, so it looks like these sprinkles that we were supposed to get aren't sticking to the marshmallows. Okay, say shape into balls and then roll into the sprinkles, but it seems to not stick. Not sure why.
Only one stayed on.
So let me see.
Is it like slime? We'll know.
Yeah, not sure. They only a little bit of them stick. You kind of have to press them into it. So that's pretty hard to do. But she's gonna keep at it while I still try to add these feet onto these bunny bums.
Bunny bum ball. I found a way to make it work. Just take the sprinkles, put it in your hand, then take the tail and then just press the tail.
You're doing a good job with those tails.
Thank you. Just gotta take
Trying to get all these feet on before the candy hardens again.
and then just gotta take a step in the world to make the best.
All right, we finally finished after a long day. I'm not sure what the time frame was to make these, but it took us a long time.
It was about 3 hours and 45 minutes.
No, it was longer than that. Let's see, the time is about 6 o'clock. I think we started like around 1? Something like that. It took about 5 hours to make these, but we got them done.
Fine.
We persevered.
The most of it was wasted on the baking because the apparently the cake didn't want to work out.
Yeah. So, this is our finished product. These are our Bunny Bum cake balls. So what do you think, Leah? How was it?
It was fun.
It was fun? Yeah, I think it was fun too. I think we did good for our first time doing these. And whatever our next recipe is that you choose, we may be a little better at it, all right? But how about you taste one?
Okay. You gotta try this too.
All right, here you go. Okay, take that one. And are you ready? It's okay. It's okay. They're not
Perfect.
they're not perfect.
I think that extra strawberry might have thrown it off.
They're edible.
They're edible.
They're pretty good. But you know what? Actually, we have a special guest here today. Aaliyah's mom, she's been working the camera doing such a good job.
Woo!
So
Mama!
we would like for you to come.
And
I'm going to take over the camera. And you come over, you try one of our Bunny Bum cake balls, and you let us know your honest opinion. So come on.
What's your mommy day?
No, it's called.
So here we go. Our very first tester of our baked goods.
Mama.
So go ahead, pick one.
Pick one.
Pick this little one right here.
She's taking a little.
Mm-hmm. She's smelling them.
She's the Bunny Bum cake ball inspector.
So.
Just take a bite.
I'm scared.
Take a bite. Wow.
Oh, okay.
She's just rude. She's just rude.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you better look next time.
Are you saying we did terrible?
Hmm?
If
The muffin candy is good. The cake.
yeah, that's why I was like,
We need to wash the cake down with the candy. But we'll try again another day. But y'all put in very good effort.
Okay. So we tried. Okay, we tried.
Bunny's foot.
All right. So we hope that you guys will watch us again on our next show. All right, Leah. So you ready for the next one?
Yes.
All right. And what are we gonna be making next time? Do you know yet?
Yes.
What are we gonna be
We
making?
should try this.
Sure, why not?
All right. So looks like the next recipe from our book.
It's
Looks like
called
pear crumble
cornucopias.
cornucopias.
Baking All Year Round by Rosanna Pisano. And we got this for 30% off at Target. Target party.
All right, that was fun, Leah. I had fun making these Bunny Bum cake balls with you. All right, so we'll see you next time on our show, Baking Besties. See ya. Bye.